a good day. I'm feeling the energy. How about you, April? How you feeling?
Pumped.
Me too. Wait for it.
Nothing bad can happen. It can only good happen.
Oh yeah, feeling the energy. Say it with me, Mom, Donnie, Mom, Donnie. Oh, I'm feeling good. Woo! We're going again.
It's a party.
It's a party. Enjoy the win, friends. Soak it in. Feel relieved.
We're so white.
We are so
like,
what? I will say I'm proud of myself for whipping that bad boy up in like 5 minutes.
You did great. I know Tim made that song right before we went on.
I'm in GarageBand just like grabbing loops wherever I can. Like, okay, let's just stick these together. And then you were like, wait. It was
Trump's line.
Yeah, it was your idea. Yeah. Well, welcome to the show, friends. First time?
Yeah, they're like, what is this? No introduction. Just
nothing.
dancing.
Just what? Imagine the podcast audience like, what the hell just happened to my show?
Yeah, we were attempting to dance while sitting. For those listening.
Yeah,
so.
it kind of worked. Are we live on Substack? I'm looking for the live here. Hopefully we are. Okay. Anyway, friends, welcome into the Tim and April show. I am Tim Whitaker.
And I am April Ajoy. And today we are celebrating a blue wave that happened on Tuesday. You know, we got to celebrate the wins when we get them.
Yep.
And we got some pretty big wins on Tuesday, actually.
We did. I bought alcohol for the first time maybe ever. Because, you know, I'm a good Christian, April. We don't buy alcohol. Mm-hmm. But I've never opened a bottle.
Definitely not the first time, because you had alcohol one time when we watched one of the debates live on a show.
You're right. Well, I've never opened alcohol. I've never opened a bottle of champagne in my life. You know why? I'm scared of the pop. This is a very embarrassing story I'm going to tell you in the audience that no one really knows. Okay. And I'm a very anxious person deep down. Like, I'm a type 6 on the Enneagram. Fear, you know, it's like a core value of mine. When I was a kid, a balloon popped in my face and it scared the hell out of me. And ever since then, balloons or things that would pop, they give me anxiety.
Okay.
To this day.
That's fair. I mean, we all have those things that happen in our life.
Yep, that's one of mine. Should I not open this bottle? I mean, someone says I shouldn't open the bottle in the office. Is this a bad idea?
I mean, honestly, I've never opened a bottle of champagne either.
Shit.
People are telling
you to be careful,
Tim. Is this
a
dangerous thing?
Oh boy. Oh,
open
thank
it
you.
Away from your computer.
I don't know if I should do this. I knew I should open this before. I can't even get the wrapper off.
You need a backup away from your computer.
Maybe this is a sign from God.
Okay, did you shake it? Because if you shook it, it'll spray.
I don't think I did. I don't think I did.
You don't think you did. Famous last words. No, don't shake it. They're saying shake it.
I'm not.
Don't do
that. I'm a little... I don't know if I should do that. I'm freaked out. I'm not going to lie. I am really anxious.
I don't know. We're on a live, Tim. So you got to either do it or move on.
Can you give me a second? Okay, can I have a minute here to compose myself, April? Okay, I'm a little concerned.
I pre-poured my celebratory drink on a Thursday afternoon.
Okay, I'm gonna try and control the pop. Can I do that?
Well, we can't even see it.
Well,
back up so we can see you.
I'm scared to death. This looks
Turn
really
it away. Turn it away from the computer. Oh my gosh, we're such noobs.
Oh, hold on. Okay, I got it. I did it!
Oh, that was good job.
Thank you.
Spillage.
Thank you. I will now enjoy
I heard the pop.
Okay, my celebratory. Hear that, audience? Oh yeah, fresh. Oh, drip some. Okay. Well, cheers. Cheers to a blue wave, everyone.
As I drink my red drink.
Well, that was uneventful. Nothing broke. What if I drank this whole bottle? Okay, we have to get back to the show. We have so much work to do. I'm so sorry. Friends, if you're just joining in on YouTube, please make sure to give this stream a like and subscribe to the channel. We go live Wow, that is strong for me. We go live every Thursday at 12 o'clock Eastern. If you're watching on Substack, welcome. We have partnered with Lincoln Square Media to bring this show over to Substack. We are Tim and April. We are two former Christian evangelical fundamentalists who grew up pretty Christian nationalists. April even wrote an entire book about it called Star Spangled Jesus. And now we do the work of trying to dismantle Christian nationalism and help a wider audience understand what is going on behind the scenes that is animating so much of the Trump regime. So we go live on Thursdays right here on Substack and on YouTube. And we also release a pre-recorded episode every Tuesday. The show is also out on podcast. You can follow us on Instagram. The Tim and April Show, that's us. It's been a really great week. I will say it was a nice bump. I was worried. So I'm in New Jersey, April. And even though we are historically a blue state, I was still concerned because the last election, Trump gained a lot of ground. Like it was a much closer than ever election. So we were not sure how things were going to swing out. I'm very relieved that we overwhelmingly went blue. That was a good feeling for me. So I definitely feel a sigh of relief, not because I think that our new governor is going to automatically fix every single problem that we have in the state, but it's a good sign that people are rejecting what they're seeing from Trump. They're rejecting, hopefully, the ICE raids. They're rejecting the nonstop propaganda, the hatred of one's own neighbor. So that's why I'm personally a little relieved and feel good about this, personally.
Yeah, I mean, as you should. I mean, New Jersey is not the only state that saw great wins for the Democrats. So probably the biggest win, well, maybe not the biggest, but or maybe the Democrats. Most. So probably the big.
Sorry, I had an
echo.
Yeah, did you have that?
That was me.
That was you. My bad.
That was weird.
You're all good.
Okay. I was like, whoa, what's happening?
Yeah. No,
I'll say maybe the most publicized election was the New York City mayor race.
Yes.
And Zoran Mamdani won pretty handedly. It was not really that close.
No, it was great.
And Donald Trump even endorsed Andrew Cuomo, not the Republican.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know why Cuomo would have taken the endorsement, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
Seemed like an odd choice.
Yeah, exactly. And good news, we are going to be joined by someone from the party that helped get Mamdani elected. Maurice Mitchell, who is the national director for Working Families Party, will be joining us at 1 o'clock Eastern live on the show to kind of talk about the win, what it means, and also who the heck is the Working Families Party. It's a really cool story, so we'll get into that. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It was a huge, I think it was a pretty big upset. Which, again, is shocking because Cuomo has, so many allegations, credible ones, of him sexually abusing women. And that was kind of just, that was, a little discouraging to see. Other Democrats be like, Cuomo's our guy. We just can't stand the idea of a radical who's also a Muslim. So we'll vote for the guy who has credible accusations of sexual assault. And it's like, look, if you're going to do that, you just have no place or no ability ever to critique Trump for his own sexual abuse. You just can't do that. You can't call Trump a sexual abuser and be like, well, Cuomo's our guy. Give me a break. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and a bunch of billionaires came out to support Cuomo. I mean, it felt like everyone was kind of teaming up to go against Mamdani, even a lot of Democrats too. So it was, props to him. I was so excited that he won. Also, Virginia governor flipped from the current Republican. The Democrat won in Virginia. There were also a lot of seats. I had a friend who ran for a congressional seat in Virginia the last election and lost pretty handedly to the Republican because I think she was in a pretty conservative area. She won this time. And that's a story that you're hearing across the nation. And you might notice a lot of MAGA people are trying to downplay this to say, well, it was only a blue wave because it was all blue states. But that's actually not true.
Right.
Several seats were flipped. I think maybe the most surprising state that I saw where two Democrats won was in Mississippi. Mississippi lost the Republican supermajority because two Democrats won in Republican areas.
Yeah.
In Mississippi.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it was definitely a blue wave. Like, there's really no way around. Like, Democrats swept this election.
100%. And again, it's encouraging, but also we can't let up off the gas. Here's something that we need to be honest about. And I don't want to temper or be a Debbie Downer, because it's a huge relief, right, that we had this so-called blue wave. It's great. It's a good thing for sure. Two things that we need to keep in mind, friends. Number one, the work is just beginning. The Christian nationalists that have embedded themselves in our government have been working for decades to build networks and coalitions and funding and propaganda to get people to buy into what they're saying. So you're not going to undo that with one election that is not even a national election, right? So that's number one. Number two, the Democratic Party, I got to be honest, April, and I'm just going to be truthful with you. I'm over them. I'm done with the Democratic Party. The way that so many people that I thought would easily endorse Mamdani did not. Or would refuse to endorse him, or kind of sidestep the issue. Forget it, dude. Forget it. I'm done with these establishment Democrats who are spineless, who did not stand up to Trump. I know the shutdown, I give them credit for that they're holding their ground over this finally. But my gosh, I'm over it. Like, these establishment Dems in many ways, when it comes to capitalism and the corporatocracy, are very much bought off, just like how many MAGA Republicans are and many conservatives are. And we absolutely need to go in a different direction, period. There is something, and look, we've been very clear, I am never going to be a fan of Trump. I reject what Trump is doing. But there's something about the language he used that people bought into that was very populist. Now, he's not a populist. He's a billionaire. His cabinet has the most billionaires ever in office. So make no mistake, this is not a man of the people. This is a man who exploits the people. But there is something about I see what's happening. Politics are corrupt. There is a lot of corporate interest in politics. I'm fighting for you. That kind of rhetoric we have to get into and then actually deliver on those things. And I think that's why Mamdani won, because he was very clear. He's not taking AIPAC money. He's not taking billionaire money. He's for the people, by the people. One of the questions that he was asked during the early debate, this is before, things really got narrowed down. One of the questions was, where would you go? Where would your first trip be as mayor in New York City? And everyone said Israel. And he said, I wouldn't go anywhere. I'm here to work for the people of New York. That's the right answer. That's the right answer.
And he got a lot of criticism for that answer.
A ton. But you know what? The people spoke. So I'm definitely excited for sure. But friends, we have a lot of work to do. That's why Lincoln Square is doing their work. That's why the new Evangelicals, the show that produces the Tim and April show, is doing their part to be part of the change. Like, we have a lot of work to do. So take this as a wind in the sails to our destination of liberation for all, and not as, okay, we can stop now. We can dock for a few weeks and relax. No, absolutely not.
Right.
Now's the time to push hard.
Yeah, and I do think that is very true. This does not mean the fight is over by any means, because look who's still controlling the federal government right now. But I do think we should celebrate and take our wins where we can get them. And I do think, if anything, I'm very encouraged, because obviously I don't believe this blue wave, as you said, is because people just love Democrats. It's because people are tired of Donald Trump and the MAGA movement and their inhumane policies and skyrocketing prices and tariffs and
that's right.
And wars. Even though he's claiming he stopped all these wars, he's also involving himself. It's just a lot. There's just a lot he's doing.
A lot.
We're going to get into this weird Great Gatsby party that he threw over this
bizarre.
past weekend, which right now feels like an eternity ago, and hasn't even been a week. So we're going to get into all that. Do you want to play a clip from Mamdani's speech?
I have a few clips here. I just think it's worth... I just pulled a few clips. I mean, there's no intention behind them. I just want you all to hear how he speaks. And I just want to kind of compare and contrast. Oh, that's the wrong... Which one is that?
Yeah,
we'll get to
we're
that
going to
later
get
on.
through the MAGA crash out in
we're
a
going to
second,
get to that.
too.
We have a few super chats. Let's read those real quick. We always read super chats live on the air as much as we can. Super chats help make this show possible. Thank you so much. So the first one is from Stevie Clown. Love the work you both do. April's book is such a breath of restorative air to this 57-year-old who begun deconstructing my faith in 2002. It's so good to see your generation speaking up. Thank you, Stevie Clown, for the super chat.
Thank you for reading the book, too. That's great.
For sure. Justine Bailey, a celebrity super chat. celebratory super chat, not celebrity. I'm already drunk off
What
this
are words?
champagne. Keep up the good work, Tim and April. And then from Deanna Much, so excited about it. The election results. Heading to training this weekend to launch my campaign for in our red area. This was the boost I needed. Congratulations, Deanna. Love to hear that. Okay, look, just a few clips. Just 2.5 minute little montage, just from Mamdani taking the victory lap. Here's how he spoke. Think about this compared to how Trump speaks.
We can remember.
No audio.
Power does not belong in their hands.
I'm sorry, what?
There was no audio for a second, and it's a little quiet.
Okay, hold on. What's going on here? Okay.
I heard it. It heard it, and then it went out, and then I heard it again, but it was quiet.
Let me see what's going on. It could be on my end here. That should be good.
We'll try it again.
Fingers bruised from lifting boxes on the
You don't hear that?
I can hear that. Yeah, that's good.
Palms calloused from delivery by candle bars. Knuckles scarred with kitchen burns. These are not hands that have been allowed to hold power. And yet, over the last 12 months, you have dared to reach for something greater. You showed that when politics speaks to you without condescension, we can usher in a new era of leadership. We will fight for you because we are you. Or as we say on Steinway, ana minkum wa ilaykum. Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties. To every New Yorker in Kensington and Midwood and Hunts Point, know this. This city is your city, and this democracy is yours too.
I love this.
This campaign is about people like Wesley, an 1199 organizer I met outside of Elmhurst Hospital on Thursday night. A New Yorker who lives elsewhere, who commutes 2 hours each way from Pennsylvania because rent is too expensive in this city. It's about people like the woman I met on the BX 33 years ago, who said to me, I used to love New York, but now it's just where I live. And it's about people like Richard, the taxi driver I went on a 15-day hunger strike with outside of City Hall, who still has to drive his cab 7 days a week. My brother, we are in City Hall now. More than 1 million of us stood in our churches, in gymnasiums, in community centers, as we filled in the ledger of democracy. And while we cast our ballots alone, we chose hope together. Hope over tyranny. Hope over big money and small ideas. Hope over despair. We won because New Yorkers allowed themselves to hope that the impossible could be made possible. And we won because we insisted that no longer would politics be something that is done to us. Now it is something that we do.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I mean, look, let's be clear-eyed, right? We have to hold, or the people of New York City will hold him accountable to his promises. That's how democracy works. It's how our government should work, right? A government for the people, by the people. But his approach is so different than how MAGA speaks. You know, we've watched a lot of Trump speeches on this show, April, a lot. And they're always, too many. They're always so divisive. I hate the Democrats. I hate my opponents. They're poisoning the blood of society. Mamdani's approach is the opposite. Notice how he addresses all different types of people because he knows New York City is a diverse space, right? Full of different cultures and ethnicities, making it work together for a common good. That's what makes democracy and multiculturalism so beautiful, right? It's not always easy. It's not always simple. It can be complicated, but there's something beautiful about we're in this together to make our world or our city a better place than it was before. And there's no reason why this city can't figure out how to make rent more affordable for the average New Yorker, how it can't make groceries more affordable again, or how it can't provide affordable health care. These are reasonable claims in a city with tons of wealth. So I really enjoyed some of those clips from Mamdani. Again, we'll see how much power he has to actually get these things done, but I love the hope. It's nice to
honestly
hear.
That's my biggest question. He's made a lot of promises that I honestly didn't think mayors had the power to do.
Yeah.
But based on the way MAGA and Trump and all these people are crashing out over his win, makes me go, maybe he does have the power to do this stuff, because they think that he's like, I mean, gosh, they're being so dramatic about.
Oh my gosh, for sure.
Anyway, I don't know. Do we want to go to the crash out now?
Yeah,
Or do you
let's get what?
I don't know. It says in our thing you have an ad spot.
Well, I just want to promote the New Evangelicals. That's all. While we're here, the New Evangelicals is the organization that produces this show. It's a space for folks who are trying to find a better path forward in their faith. We are a nonprofit organization. I founded it about 5 years ago. Now it's led by Melinda Hale, our executive director. If you're looking for a place to land that is inclusive and justice-oriented and offers free resources, check out TNE Connect. You can go to thenewevangelicals.com/connect, sign up. It's totally free. We have nothing behind any kind of paywall. So if you're looking for a place to find like-minded people who are excited about what happened in New York and New Jersey and Mississippi and not discouraged, that's the place to go. So that's all I wanted to say.
Great. I love that. We have a couple of super chats. I don't know if you want to read those before we.
Yeah, why not? You want to read these while I grab the clips? Here you go. Yeah. You can read that one.
Okay, from Fairy Cookies 33. First time catching a live. Thank you for all you do. I always recommend you guys to people, as if I was ever going to be a Christian again, this is the kind I would be. Y'all give me hope. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love that. And from Seraphim Tofu, congrats to Zoran and NYC. We almost had our own socialist mayor here in Seattle, but unfortunately it looks like the incumbent is safe. Boo.
Yeah, boo.
Well, that happens. But thank you for the super chat.
Yeah, I love that. I don't think I pulled the clip of Trump ranting.
Oh, I sent it to you.
I know. I think I must have forgotten to grab it because I was making that amazing song from earlier that was like top tier that we were all dancing to. But I do have this. I do have the Mike Johnson clip. We could pull that.
Let's just watch the Mike Johnson one.
Yeah, we all like to see Mike Johnson on our screen, right, friends? Let me know how the audio is. Sorry about the technical issues. Still working on it. Here we go.
I told him this morning what we've talked about many times and what I've said here before. The president is on the ballot in 2026. The President Trump is on the ballot next fall. Because if we lose the majority, if the Republicans, the common sense people here who are doing the job for the American people, if we lose...
I'm sorry, wait, hold on. What happened?
Majority in the House.
I'm sorry.
And this radical element of the Democrat Party were...
Sorry, hold on. I just got to say, the fact that Mike Johnson has the caucasity to really say that this is a government that's working for the American people, as they have allowed the shutdown to happen and have intentionally not applied $6 billion in contingency funds that Congress appropriated for SNAP benefits, is baffling to me. I just need to say that to someone. That is the bewilderment on my face to hear this man say that is it's wow.
Well, and I do think he is piggybacking off of Donald Trump's video that we didn't pull. He basically said that he's been told that Democrats swept and that Republicans didn't do good because of the government shutdown. He was like, well, most people are blaming Republicans and because Trump was not on the ballot. So that's kind of what he's referencing.
Yeah. Okay. We'll keep going.
We're able to take over. We've already seen that movie. They will try to end the Trump administration. He won't have 4 years. He'll have only 2 because they will move to impeach him probably on the first day of the new Congress in January 2027. And they will try to systematically unwind all the important reforms that we've done for the American people, to lower costs, to have a better quality of living, on health care, to increase access and quality of care. We are the party that is doing that, and the president needs 4 years to complete his agenda, not just 2. So he is in a very real sense on the ballot. He's fiercely committed to us winning. He is going to help. He's offered to do rallies and the town halls and all the things. He's sent out a huge round of endorsements of incumbents, Republican incumbents, just over the last few days. He is very much engaged, very dialed in, and he understands the stakes. President Trump is on the ballot in 2026.
Don't tempt me with a good time, Mike Johnson.
Yeah, no, for real, my guy. Like, I would love that to happen.
Democrats will win, end his campaign, impeach him on day 1. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
Wait, you're saying that ICE raids are going to stop? That, daycares will stop being invaded by ICE federal agents and pulling daycare workers out? Sign me the hell up for that, Mike. Also, it's really rich hearing him say about how everything is so great under this administration when grocery prices are up year over year. They're higher than they were last year. You can fact check me on that. How the job market just reported like a record amount of losses for the first time, I think since like 2009 was like the biggest gap. It's not like, again, it's propaganda. I don't know how else to say it to like people. They're just straight up lying to you. And they're looking at the data, and then they're firing the people who provide that data.
Can I just say, I think they've overplayed their hand by the way that I think they've gone too hard at blaming Democrats for this shutdown, because it reads, unless you're literally drinking the Kool-Aid and are super, super, super MAGA. If you go to the White House website and the USDA.gov website, and we showed that banner last week where it says, thanks to the Democrat shutdown, like, it's so propaganda-y. Like, I was just trying to think, if when I was a Republican and if Obama, like, there was a shutdown and I went to the White House and at the top it was like the Republican shutdown. Like, even I would have been like, this feels a little, it kind of takes two to tango.
April, I have an update. They made the banner bigger. They made it bigger than last week. Last week it was a small heading on the top. Now it's like,
oh my
25 font in your face. By the way, did you see that what was it? They called it My Safe Space. They remade the White House page into like a MySpace parody. Again, mocking Democrats. Guys, 77 million people still voted for Harris. That's a lot of people who aren't going to be a fan of what you're doing.
Not to mention, Trump's approval ratings are, I think they just hit another new low. Like, they're super, super low. It's just wild to me that they can't just look in the mirror and be like, is it me? Am I the problem?
Right. Here, can you see this? This is coming up, all right? There we go. How about now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Plunged over SNAP benefits. Yes. And they even said, they've been lying about whether or not they can fund SNAP benefits during the shutdown.
They're just
and
liars.
Then they came back out and we'll partially do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They're just lying. I don't understand how Mike Johnson can sleep at night, because he literally just goes out and blatantly lies every day. I mean, so does Trump, but
by the way, there's a fantastic article that just came out by Matthew Taylor, a good friend of the show, and Bradley Onishi, two scholars of Christian nationalism that just did a deep dive on Rolling Stone about Mike Johnson's connection to the New Apostolic Reformation and how there's an intentional plan to remake the government in this Christian nationalist image. Let me talk to the Substack people for a second. Hi, by the way. Also, this champagne is definitely hitting me. I don't know why. I'm a lightweight. It is what it is, but
I'm
I
also
make no
a lightweight.
apologies.
I've had 2 sips and I'm I gotta slow down.
Me too. Oh, good. Okay, so look, if you are someone who did not grow up in white evangelical Christianity, I want to talk to you for a second, and I want you to really hear me, and I'm asking you to trust me if you're new to the show, and you can fact check me over time. The SNAP benefits debacle is intentional. The firing of the federal employees over the shutdown is intentional. The dismantling of the Department of Education is intentional. The people behind this Trump regime, the Christian nationalists like Mike Johnson and many, many others, Paul the White, the Faith Advisory Council person, they want the government to be dismantled so they can remake it in the image of white Christian nationalism. Okay, so what's happening in our government is not a bug. It is a feature of a white Christian nationalist takeover. Do you understand that? So they'll let this shutdown go as long as they want, because ultimately they don't give a shit about the American people. They don't give a shit about the Democrats that are also American citizens. They just don't care. They do not care about the poor people who will go hungry on SNAP, or not getting SNAP benefits. As someone in our chat said, it's all in Project 2025, and that's true. So I just need you guys to understand, this is why I'm always tempered, and yes, I'm super happy about the recent elections going very blue and Mamdani. That's super great. That's great. But there are bigger forces at work that are working in our federal government to undermine it intentionally. Even Doge back in the day, a couple months ago, Doge and the dismantling of USAID was intentional. Can I give just one more example while I'm here that I just researched, just to give you guys, the perspective here? The Trump administration, and again, friends, feel free to fact check me on this. I'm not worried about that because I know that my sources are legit. The Trump administration just cut down the amount of refugees admitted into the U.S. by a record low of what was previously 125,000, now down to 7,500, okay? And they are giving most of those slots to white Afrikaners. Now, white Afrikaners in South Africa, the Trump regime will say are a persecuted white minority. That is not true for many, many reasons that we can't go into on this show for this moment. But they are essentially saying, look, we're going to allocate these slots not to people who are actual refugees, but to white Afrikaners to bring them back or over to the U.S. I just need you guys to understand what is happening here, okay? Everything you're seeing is part of a larger game plan to dismantle the federal government, destroy it, and then remake it in the image of them. And right now we are in the dismantling portion.
Yeah, and I do think we need to be on the lookout that they're going to look at this loss, see the writing on the wall, realize how popular they are, and they're going to try to steal future elections or try to rig it in some way. Literally, Donald Trump, the night of the election, he posted on his Truth Social, pass voter reform, voter ID, no mail-in ballot, save our Supreme Court from packing, no two-state addition, terminate the filibuster.
Yep,
so
that's right.
Literally, his response is like, what can I do better to make Americans want to vote for me? It's, no, get rid of mail-in ballot. Like, they're already planting those seeds of gerrymandering, voter suppression. And, also, we didn't mention, too, but in California, Prop 50 passed, which is going to give California potentially 5 more Democratic seats that they voted on, which is to offset the gerrymandering redistricting that they've done in Texas without voter approval. They just did it. And there's other red states that are doing that as well. So that's something just to be on the lookout that I think now they might realize, we got to get this agenda passed quickly because we might get voted out next year.
Right. And this is why many of us and many of the scholars that we talk to will tell you that, Christian nationalism does not believe in democracy. It doesn't care about that. It doesn't care about the will of the people. It cares about power and control, which is why they have no problem gerrymandering. I mean, even Paul Weyrich, back from the Moral Majority, says our chances of going up is dependent upon fewer and fewer voters actually voting. So anyway, sorry to go on that little bit of tangent, but
we got a lot of things to get to.
I know. I'm sorry, April. It's this huge bottle of champagne next to me that I'm all done drinking.
Yeah. I do want to point out, I don't know if you can pull up one of those tweets. I can't remember who posted it. I think it was Seth. Was it Seth Gruber? About how they're really scared of Zoran Mamdani bringing Sharia law to New York.
Oh my God.
I don't believe he even has the power to do that. But I want to point out, based on everything that you just said about the Heritage Foundation, these people that are freaking out about an Islamic theocracy, it's all projection because they want a Christian theocracy. They basically want the same things that they're... Well, here, let's just read this tweet. You want me to read it? You want me to read it?
Yeah, can you read it? You read it.
Yeah. So this is Seth Gruber. He's
I can't read.
Conservative Christian dude. Okay. What does this radical Islamist mayor of NYC and the modern leftists who helped elect him have in common? Virtually nothing, except a shared hatred of Christianity and desire to supplant the only true religion. Islam hates gay marriage, abortion, the trans movement, and has an antipathy for the homosexuals to the point of shoving them off buildings. Let this be your wake-up call. The left will jump into bed with the very people they would typically describe as homophobes, transphobes, and theocrats, so long as those bedfellows hate Christ and his followers. All human conflict is ultimately theological. Every accusation is a confession.
Everyone.
Because also, Zoran Mamdani, like, he's literally, you see him with pictures holding trans flags. Like he's not anti-gay or anti-trans. And I think this has been a kind of a wake-up call for me because I used to be very Islamophobic because of what I was taught about Islam. And then I realized it's very similar to Christianity in the sense that you have very fundamentalist Islamic people, and then you have progressive people like us that are very inclusive and very opening and loving and love thy neighbor. And I actually have more in common with a progressive Muslim than I do a conservative Christian in some regards, based on a lot of the same books. So
1,000%. It's really interesting watching them squash down Islam to like one view that is usually pretty like not even accurate. And then they are telling people like you and me that we're not true Christians, right? And these are the same people, like you said, they hate gay marriage. Seth Gruber runs, I think he's the one who runs the White Rose Resistance, which essentially wants blanket abortion bans for any reason at all in America, and will say that abortion is a modern day Holocaust. So he's that person. Michael Knowles says that we have to eradicate transgenderism. Candace Owens calls transgender people demonic. Seth Gruber probably agrees. They hate gay people. I mean, they are the very thing that they're critiquing. And by the way, Mamdani is none of those things. He's been very clear about the fact that he's a progressive Muslim. And I know for people who grew up in either Western culture or in particular white evangelicalism, that doesn't make any sense. That's because you've been given a really bad view of Islam. Just like how, April, you and I will tell people, look, Christian nationalism is Christian, but it's not nearly close to the whole picture of Christian thought, right?
Right.
It's the same kind of idea.
It is not the majority of the global Christianity.
Exactly.
But in historical Christianity too, despite how confident they are that they're the one true belief system, they're not. They're just a small slither.
Well, that's why I tweeted this out. Maybe this is a good time to bring up. I don't want to brag. I don't share my own tweets on the show very often, but I did go a little viral on Threads. I did. I went viral. God, April, I only had one glass of this champagne. I do not feel myself. I'm just gonna say that out loud.
Well,
I'm gonna stop drinking. No, I'm all done. I'm just done. Anyway,
would you like to read your own tweet?
I will try. I said, I'm a Christian and thrilled that my Muslim neighbor, Zoran Mamdani, won. Ironically, his policies look a lot more Christian than what my Christian nationalist neighbors advocate for. And that's the point, right? It's shared values over shared beliefs. Me and my Christian nationalist neighbor might even have some theological beliefs in common, but we have very different values of how those beliefs are practice, how they're, what it means to be a Christian, etc. And I'm happy to see Mamdani be elected, who wants to fight for the working class, who wants to freeze rent, who wants the billionaires to pay their fair share. That's a great thing. But for Christian nationalists, this is a war. The fact that we have one Muslim mayor in America, I mean, there could be more, but I'm assuming, mainly one right now. Just the fact that there is one for the Christian nationalist says, oh my God, we're being invaded by radical Islam.
Well, I feel like this is a good opportunity to bring up that Allie Beth Stuckey tweet. She tweeted this a few weeks ago. Allie Beth Stuckey, who we've talked about, Tim debated her in a Jubilee episode. She's insufferable. But anyway, she tweeted this. I asked my 840,000 Instagram followers, mostly Christian women, what their biggest concern is for the country right now. And by far, the most common answer is the growing influence of Islam. I'd like to see this concern reflected in the GOP ASAP. What do you mean? Out of everything that's happening in our country, every problem that we're facing, their biggest concern is Islam?
Right.
That makes up like 1% of our population.
I know.
What?
This is what is. How do I say this? It's wild. Like it is, guys. I'm not even sure where to start. Okay, I'll put it this way. If you think, because I'm sure you've seen a lot of these like pictures or posts, like Rudy Giuliani posted a picture of 9/11 and was like, how soon we forgot New York. Yeah. I'm like, look, if you're gonna pin 9/11 on Zoran Mamdani, I hope you're ready to pin January 6th on your white evangelical pastor. That's how stupid you sound. I would never pin January 6th on my former evangelical pastor because he wasn't there. He actually denounced it. I would never conflate the two. But when it comes to Islam in America and how these MAGA sycophants see this shit, right? Mamdani is responsible for 9/11. It is just Islamophobia.
But they do the blanket painting of enemies all the time. It's why they blanket everybody on the left with no evidence for Charlie Kirk's murder. Like, these are people that they like to blanket villainize these
because
groups.
It works, right? They're not looking for good faith.
They don't use logic. Yeah,
it's fear-based.
Do we want to just like we have someone coming in 18 minutes, so I feel like we got a fast track. Do we want to just like read some other of these tweets? Because I feel like the crash out from MAGA and these Christian nationalists was either very Islamophobic and like Sharia law and fear mongering, or it was super misogynistic.
This one, right? Let's do this.
Yeah, this is Dale Partridge.
Oh
She's
my
a
God,
pastor
Dale Partridge.
that I've had many run-ins with. I have
Disaster.
My favorite interaction was when I called him Daldo. He didn't like it. Anyway, this guy's like, he's also insufferable, very misogynistic, and he posted this after Zoran won, because a lot of men, and we can show you other tweets, are using Zoran Mamdani's win as the reason that women should no longer get the right to vote.
Right.
Right. Here we go. By the way, if you're new to the show, this is real. These people are deadly serious, and they're behind the Trump regime.
Is it good that women can vote in America?
Wow.
I don't think so, and here's why. Nearly every legalized moral atrocity of the last 100 years was made possible by the female vote. Abortion and homosexuality would likely still be illegal if not for the female vote. Mass immigration and the welfare state rode on the backs of the female vote. Nearly every modern Democrat, including Obama and Biden, were elected because of the female vote. Even last night, the new Muslim New York City mayor, Mondami, won specifically because of the female vote.
Congrats!
The 19th Amendment has been a moral and political tragedy for America, but why?
Okay, just music.
Women
darn it,
were
it's
not
hot
made
heat.
to lead.
Sorry. Can we just hear what he
Go
said?
women.
Can we just
That
hear
was a
what he
great
said?
ad for women being able to vote.
But listen to this part right here.
The 19th Amendment has been a moral and political tragedy for America.
Boom. That's what
Tragedy.
these people believe. I need you to hear us. This is not fringe. Doug Wilson, Pete Hegseth's mentor, believes this shit. He went on CNN and said it himself. When we tell you that next up is women's suffrage, I don't want to hear from white progressives, oh, well, it's the Constitution. They'll never get it passed. They will figure it out. They are working on the strategies as we speak to repeal women's suffrage. And it will happen if we allow it to. It will happen if they keep getting elected. So I need people to wake up to that reality. This is on the table for these folks. They think it's a moral evil and a tragedy for America. That's how they see it. Okay, keep going.
But why? Women were not made to lead, but to follow and to feel. This is God's design, and it's good within the family and the household. But emotions cannot be what is used to rule and govern a nation. Statistically and generally speaking, women vote for whatever feels most kind or peaceful or safe to their emotions. Women crave
dare
security and comfort, and whoever promises those things wins their loyalty. The problem is evil men know this, and they exploit
This
it.
is such
For
bullshit.
example, women are twice as likely to men to be seduced into an affair. They are
What?
26% more likely to be financially scammed online. They are 3 times more likely to fall prey to psychics and tarot card readings and astrology and mediums. The same emotional vulnerability that shows up there also shows up in politics.
Can we stop?
Pause for a
Do we have to
second.
keep going? I don't want to keep going. with
No, it's fine. I just want to say it is rich that he's like, women are too emotional. When Donald Trump literally crashed out because he didn't like his picture on Time magazine.
this. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Who is the
Yeah.
emotional one? Literally every war has been started by someone with a penis.
Yeah. For
Just saying.
real.
There's no women out there that are like, that's my land. No, that's my land. And then they just duke it out. Like, geez Louise, these men. No
By the
offense
way,
to the
By
men.
the way, no,
That
look.
kind of offense.
First off,
I
can
don't
I
know.
just speak on behalf of white men who look like bro evangelicals like myself? I'm 6'4", I'm tattooed, I go to the gym. Fuck that guy. I'm sorry. Fuck him. That is such bullshit. It's garbage. By the way, just to even prove how bullshit these people are, you can Google, are women more likely to initiate affairs? Studies show that men are more likely
know,
than
where
women
is he
to
getting
engage in
that?
sexual infidelity. They just make stuff up. They make it up. Or they pull selective data out of context. This is what they do. This is
Also,
what they
don't
do.
forget, these are the same men that if a pastor gets into an affair or sexually assaults a woman, it's the woman's fault because she was being seductress. She had the Jezebel spirit. The man could not control himself around such a deceitful, seductress woman.
Right. I mean, April, I can't see your shoulders. If I see your shoulders, as a big, strong man who's not emotional at all, I just can't control myself around you. If your shirt is too low cut, if your pants are too tight, if your skirt is too short,
If I show a bra strap,
Oh, please don't. I can't look. I can't look.
Godly men stumble.
No, all right, but also, women are the emotional ones who are just given into their empathy and their emotions. You got to be kidding me. This is it's nonsense, but it's growing in right-wing spaces. That's the only reason why we're talking about this, right? Because
All
these
right, let's
people
show-
have big platforms.
Let's show a couple tweets of
Okay.
the men that are just also rolling with this line of women.
Where should I
Blame
go?
all
You
the
tell
women.
me. What do you want?
I don't know. Go to Brian Suave,
Oh,
I guess.
no, not Brian.
Okay, so he's quote tweeting someone that says, young women are the story of tonight. 81% for Mamdani, 80% for Cheryl, New Jersey, 78% for Spanberger in Virginia. Basically, vast majority of women voting Democrat. And then he's quote tweeting a defiant Baptist that says, eventually you'll agree with us that it's time to repeal the 19th Amendment, and it may be sooner rather than later. And then Brian Suave, who have also had run-ins with, said repealing the 19th is the moderate position. The moderate
position. The Overton window has moved so far right that the right wing is currently debating if a Holocaust denying Nick Fuentes, who says that Stalin was someone he admires, who says that women want to be R-worded, right? They're debating if that guy should have a platform inside the GOP. They're debating it. There's a rift between people. Some saying it's fine, some saying it's not. And then you have Brian Suave, whatever the hell his name is, saying that this is the moderate position, repealing women's right to vote in a constitutional democratic republic that's ruled by a constitution, not by their horrific interpretation of the Bible.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of other tweets that we pulled, but you can just trust us that the MAGA's crushing out, and it's either very Islamophobic or it's very misogynistic.
Well, can we also mention William Wolf? I think the Islamophobia is really worth here. We got a few minutes until 1 o'clock, and assuming our guest is on time.
The Gatsby party.
Before or after?
We have it before. I mean, I guess we could do it after.
I really can't drink champagne anymore on the air. It's not a good idea for me. Really quick, I just want to share this one thing. I think this is important. William Wolf, who is a white Christian nationalist, really tried to I'm going to read the tweet.
Who's in Trump's cabinet? Too,
yes,
by the
yes.
way.
Here's what he said, okay? It's incredibly important to understand that Mamdani was not actually elected mayor of the historic American city that we know as New York City, because that city doesn't exist anymore. Due to intentional mass replacement immigration, that's a KKK term, by the way, New York City is now a third world metropolis wearing the Big Apple as a skin suit. Americans didn't elect Mamdani, foreigners did. And his election is not the beginning of the end for NYC. It's a death certificate. Finally, it's a reminder that everything right now inescapably comes back to immigration. If we don't stop mass migration and accelerate deportations, denaturalization, and re-migration, this will happen over and over again until the United States is nothing more than a disparate conglomeration of Mumbai's and some other words that I can't pronounce, and Mexico City. My point in bringing this up to you, friends, is two things. Number one, I just want William Wolf to understand that New York City is still the wealthiest city in the world. So for all this talk about how it's a death sentence, how New York has been given over to quote-unquote third worlders, which again is so racist, so horrible, it's the richest city in the freaking world. So just cope with that. But number two, what William Wolf is doing is he's essentially saying the quiet parts out loud. White people, white Europeans are the superior race, and these so-called foreigners, who, by the way, are legal citizens, who are legally able to vote, right, are foreigners, are third worlders, are not as evolved as us, are not as superior, they're not equal to us. This is KKK stuff. This is Grand Wizard talking points reimagined and re-spoken in 2025 language. That's all this is.
Also, I hate the whole immigrants are ruining America, as if we weren't immigrants, as if white people were not the OG immigrants when we colonized America. Like, everyone is an immigrant unless you are an indigenous person to America. If you are a Native American, everyone else is an immigrant.
And white people were a nightmare. They were a hell on earth for the indigenous people who were here, right? I mean, the way that white people colonized, raped, enslaved, etc. Yeah, but again, I say this because William Wolf is not a no-name. This man prayed over Trump. Yeah. There's a picture of him praying over Trump recently in 2025. This is who Trump surrounds himself with, people who have these views.
Yeah. Andy Ogles, who's a representative, he also tweeted something very Islamophobic. And I found it very rich because he tweeted out this. Oh gosh, can you make that bigger? That is so small on my screen.
I'm so sorry. I'm on a small screen too. I'm working with 3 different screens here trying to make it all
work.
If
you read it then.
I can't read it. It's too small.
Okay, all right, I can read it. This man came to America for one reason, to turn America into an Islamic theocracy. I say no to Sharia law, which is why I've presented an argument to have Mamdani sent back to Uganda based on information he clearly withheld. I'm fighting to take our country back. DOJ must investigate. This is just so rich. Like, He is the same guy who proposed legislation to get Donald Trump a third term. And they're worried about a theocracy and this authoritarianism from Mamdani. I'm telling you, it's all projection. It's projection because they're accusing him of things they want to do, of what they plan to do. Ugh. Anyway, we have a few minutes. Do you want to get into the Gatsby party? Because I think what Republicans are clearly missing is it's that Americans are fed up with Donald Trump and MAGA and Republicans living this life of luxury. So Donald Trump, Halloween night, so this past Friday, hosted a great Gatsby party at Mar-a-Lago. And you could see in this video, this is from the party. It is a scantily clad woman kind of dancing seductively in a martini glass. And here's Mar-a-Lago. It's this great Gatsby themed. It's rich millionaires and billionaires at this party. And this is on the eve of when SNAP benefits are going out for American citizens.
Think about that for a second. That's wild. Right. The sitting president of the U.S. doing this. It's crazy. The
amount of money that was spent on this party, too. And I think too, like there's videos of him talking about, groceries is such a ancient word, like such a cute old word. Like it's not an old word. Everybody goes out and buys groceries. Like it's this disconnect between the top and your everyday American people. Like the battle really is top and bottom. It's not left and right.
Right.
But they're pushing this war about immigrants and about trans people and about women because they want to keep it left to right. Because if they keep it left to right, the top continues to get richer and richer and richer while the poor get poorer.
100%.
That's really what's happening here. And people are tired of it.
Yep. I mean, again, like even this tweet from Caroline Levitt, this idea of like, look how great it is that Trump remodeled this bathroom. It's like, what are you guys doing? Are you also joking? And honestly, God, April,
I was just going to say, she says here, when I first learned a toilet like that existed inside the White House, this is the toilet before Donald Trump renovated. He renovated the Lincoln bathroom that was renovated in the 1940s. So he's literally like destroying historic rooms. But she says, I was horrified.
Thank you.
How can you be horrified by a bathroom, by the decor and design of a bathroom, and not horrified that American children are starving?
How do I say this? Caroline will look at women being ripped from their husbands and their kids being ripped from them. They'll watch videos of ICE agents pepper bulleting priests in the head who are peacefully protesting. That doesn't horrify her. It's a toilet in the Lincoln bathroom in the White House? That's what horrifies you? And again, my question is to all of the MAGA people who voted for this, what are your thoughts? Like, do you not see why people like me and April and many others are just like bewildered by your support of this man? He doesn't care about you. On the eve of SNAP benefits being cut for 42 million people, he throws a great Gatsby party, has scantily clad women at the party, which, by the way, April and I don't care at all about, but the white evangelicals sure as hell do. The people who care about April's bra straps sure as hell do. They won't say a thing.
I've been condemned as a teenager for wearing a tank top because a grown man, could lust after my teenage body. And these people, I went and looked. I'm like, surely the Allie Beth Stuckeys of the world, the Meg Bastions of the world that are all about, morality and modesty. Modest is hottest. They literally would go off on the importance of modesty and having good moral men. Didn't say a stinking word about these half-naked women dancing in front of Trump, and Marco Rubio was there. They were going around the tables dancing and didn't say a word. And to be clear, I don't care that women are dancing. Like they do. That's not it for me. It's the hypocrisy. It's the fact that they will still paint Donald Trump as this Christian moral man that is a hero of the Christian faith when he has shown them time and time again that he is not a good moral Christian man at all. And they turn a blind eye, but they'll still come after you and me because we think queer people and immigrants should have basic human rights and not be tortured. My God.
It's the same thing that happened in 2016, right? It's why you and I and many others are like, wait, what's going on with this? Trump is bragging about grabbing women and you're fine with it? Christians who taught me that like this stuff really matters. You taught me that I had to save myself for marriage and be a virgin in order for God to bless my marriage, which by the way, I did. And Trump is out here grabbing women, covering, posing on the cover of Playboy. No big deal. This is God's anointed. It's the same thing over and over for the past decade. Trump gets these passes that are jaw-dropping for folks who grew up like you and I did, April, because we know our pastor would never allow this. I covered recently the J.D. Vance, Erica Kirk hug that was seen around the world. I'm like, look, if this happened at my church, my pastor would be all over this. What is a married man doing hugging a woman like this who's in leather pants? Now, again, I don't care that someone's wearing leather pants. It's the point that the groups, people...
That was a intense frontal hug.
Oh, the hand on the head?
You side hug the opposite sex because otherwise the man's going to feel your boobs and lust after you and then...
100%. It's unreal. We have a few super chats. Do you want to read them while we're waiting for our guests to show up? Because that's important, I think, here too. Thank you, friends, by the way, for all the super chats. You're watching the Tim and April show. If you're watching live on YouTube, please make sure to give this stream a like. It really helps get it out to more and more people. I see a lot of comments saying how grateful they are for the show. Thank you. And giving it a like is a great way to show that. If you're watching on Substack, give this thing some hearts. I think that's what you do on there, and maybe restack the show. That'd be so great. We really appreciate you guys being here with us. Okay, a few super chats that came in. Wow, where do I even start? We got a few of them here. I think we go here. Is this the first one that we missed?
I don't know. I can't see your screen. We definitely haven't done this one yet.
Okay.
Okay.
No,
from Darren Garvey. I'm so pleased you are covering all this. Thank you for the super chat.
Chelsea Marie joining late, giggling at Tim saying, what if I drink this whole bottle after bravely popping the champagne cork? Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Joseph Compton, common sense and Republicans don't go together. Seraphim Tofu, hands doing a high five. I think that's like an emoji sticker that just didn't translate over to my software.
You're just reading the description of the emoji.
Yeah, that's what it gives me on my screen. I'm so pleased you're covering this from Darren. Let's see. Dulk Dogan. Good to see you again, Dulk. Excited for Zoan. Hope Tallarico wins in Texas next. I agree. If you could have any guests on your podcast, who would you choose? I think right now having Maurice on, who will be here hopefully any minute, is the person that I really want to talk to about this. Stevie Clown. The East Wing being torn down really is the MAGA showing what they want to do with the entire USA. Agreed. Let's see. Here you go. Tim and April, you both are a godsend. Thank you for your channel. You both are edifying your audience so eloquently. Thank you so much. Wow, we got a lot of these. It's a super chat kind of day.
Thank you all so much.
You want to read this one?
Yeah, Share Sexy says, too busy at work, so I got to dip early. Sad I have to miss Tipsy Tim. Keep up the good work, you two. Tipsy Tim.
Yeah,
should be
Tipsy
a segment.
Tim.
Elizabeth Michelle said, recently my pastor said, I don't care what you believe. I care how you live your life. How people live out their values is so important. I completely agree.
Agreed.
Joseph Compton. Fourth, Toledo sounds about right. Evil men know this. Deldo. I said Toledo. Deldo. Okay, Deldo sounds about right. Evil men know this and can manipulate them, he says as he proceeds to manipulate women. So true.
Great point. And then
we've got a couple new ones since you started. Yeah, Claire Drew. I'm no billionaire, but hoping every little bit helps TNE grow space for non-MAGA Christians and non-Christians alike. Thank you so much. Every little bit helps.
And the last one.
Gary Ashton, keep up the great work, guys. My wife Fiona watches you every week. Say hi to Fiona for us.
Yes.
And thank you all for the super chats. Is our guest here, or do we need to talk? Can we?
Nope. He's not here yet.
All right.
Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, you know what?
What if we played the Trump clip about grocery prices? That's a good one.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
That.
I just think this is a really good example of like, I just don't know how MAGA people like justify this kind of stuff. I'm just curious. So this is Trump being grilled by Fox News. Let's hear what he has to say here.
Regina Foley messaged me, and she says she is retired in Greensboro, North Carolina. She is a registered Republican all her life. She voted for you 3 different times, but she is not happy about how her prices have not come down that she sees. And she said this, quote, "I want the Republicans to keep control of Congress in 2026, but something has to be done fast. I don't see the best economy right now. Wall Street numbers do not reflect my Main Street money. Please do something, President Trump." So I guess what do you say to Regina and people like her?
Well, I do say this. Beef we have to get down. I think of groceries. You know, it's an old-fashioned word, but it's a beautiful word. Beef we have to get down, but we've got prices way down. And think of this. Energy. She drives a car, probably, and her energy prices are way down. And energy is so all-encompassing. It's so big that when energy goes down, everything comes down. Everything follows it. And I have energy down to 5-6-year lows now.
You think prices are coming down from this?
I believe that. Yeah, I think they're coming down, but I think they're down already. I think the biggest problem is Republicans don't talk about it. They don't talk about the word affordability, and the Democrats lie about it. Look.
There you go. There you go, friends. I mean,
How is
to be clear,
grocery an old-fashioned term?
not only that, grocery prices are actually up. Like, again, you can just fact check this. You can just do a simple fact check, and you'll see that grocery prices are up, not down.
I hate how, and I've seen him saying this before too, because this has been brought up to him a few times. The way he just gaslights people. When people are like, I'm really tired of paying these high prices. He's like, no, prices are down, actually.
Yeah, they're down. They're
no,
down.
they're not.
It's like a Jedi trick.
I see the bill. I see my grocery bill. I see what I'm paying at when I go to the counter. And he's like, oh, no, it's actually low.
No.
You're just
it's
you're
low.
just reading it wrong. I'm like, okay, what?
Anyway, we had to share that because the gaslighting never ends. And again, if any MAGA people are watching, especially Christians, I just want to know, like, what are your thoughts on this? Like, Trump is just genuinely lying about the reality. So you can leave it in the comments. All right. Look, our guest is here. I'm very, very excited to get into this conversation. I've had Maurice Mitchell on the new Evangelicals podcast before. He blew my mind because he is the national director for the Working Families Party. And I was like, okay, dude, but third party, though. I mean, how does third party operate in a society where both Democrats and Republicans seem to want to shake hands on being the only 2 parties in town? And I think that you'll be happy with Maurice's views on this. And they were the party really behind Mondani. So I'm so happy to bring him in. Hopefully this works. Hopefully I prepped it correctly. Boom!
Hello.
It's
Oh,
good
you're
to
here.
be with you all.
Hello, Maurice. It's so good to see you, man. Thanks for making time. I really appreciate it.
For sure, for sure. By the way,
yeah.
I heard a little bit of that clip. Groceries are it's an old-fashioned word all of a sudden.
Old-fashioned? Who says that anymore?
No one says that word anymore.
That's going to be swimming around in my head. I'm like, how do I square that?
Yeah, exactly. Look, it's so good to have you on the show again. Thank you for making time. I literally texted you less than 24 hours ago. Look, I want you to introduce yourself to the audience and just give a little bit about you and the work that you're doing, and then I want to hear your thoughts on Mondani's win and just get your thoughts on all of that. So go for it, my friend.
All right. Well, hey, I'm just a working class guy who grew up outside of New York City with some humble parents that, my mom is a retired nurse. My dad is an electrician who worked underneath trains. And I learned the value of hard work, of unions. And I wanted to fight for people like my parents. And so I got involved in organizing. I got involved in grassroots organizing, fighting for everyday people in really small schools where, like in Wyandanch in Long Island, where the graduation rate was like 36%, right? And so we had to organize parents and teachers and fight. And that's how I got involved in electoral organizing, is on the school board level, right? And I saw what could happen when people come together around elections, right? It's not just about the, choose a sports team, red or blue. These are people's lives. These are people's dignities. And elections and politics often deal with things that are most personal and the deepest to us. And when we're able to unlock grassroots energy, we could change the world. I saw it in Ferguson. I was on the ground in Ferguson. I saw it in the movement for Black Lives, and I see it today. And what I see is there's a set of people in the Republican Party, and the Republican Party has one master. It's that crazy guy that we heard.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
his billionaires, right? But what people also see is that the Democratic Party has two masters, sometimes the people, but often their set of oligarchs.
Right.
And people are so hungry for something else. And the Working Families Party is designed to be that something else. The Working Families Party started around 26, 27 years ago, during a time when the Democratic Party moved, like lurched towards Wall Street, you know, and they supported the free trade agreements that led to so many working people no longer having viable careers, no longer being able to support their families, having all of their jobs offshore. They supported the 94 crime bill, which led to a lot of people just get churned into the criminal legal system. They supported quote unquote welfare reform, which made it harder for people who really needed those services to get those services.
Right.
And what people said at the time was that you will lose a generation of working people. And you know, those folks were really smug. They were like, well, where are they going to go? They're not going to go to the country club Republicans, right? Well, fast forward to 2024. So many working people of all races listened to Donald Trump and heard his fake populism and heard at least somebody that acknowledged their pain, acknowledged what they were seeing and feeling, which is the system's not working for me, right? What we saw on Tuesday was Zohran Mamdani share a authentic populism, right? That tells a true story about, yes, the system isn't working for you. Yes, there's a set of elites, these billionaires. By the way, like a dozen of them spent like, I don't know, $26 million, $40 million against Zohran Mamdani and against our coalition. And they lost. Wow. And they lost because Zohran Mamdani wasn't speaking the faux populism of Donald Trump, speaking a populism of togetherness, of solidarity, a populism that includes everybody. And the Working Families Party has been designed since back then to build that multiracial, working class sort of solidarity of just what I like to call regular schmegular people. Yeah. Right. All of these labels, Democrat, Republican, progressive, Democratic, Socialist, Conservative. We're just the everyday people who are trying to figure out how to get by, how to make things affordable. And we all kind of have this sense that there's a set of people who are making it harder for us to do this. And most people are clocking the fact that, yes, the Republicans are crazy, but the Democrats are weak. Yes. And if my choice is between weak and crazy, those aren't choices I like. So that's why so many people, that's why 90 million people didn't turn out. But that's also why we had the largest turnout in New York City since the 50s, I think, right?
Wow.
Because people are hungry. People do want to believe. They just need something to believe in. And they need a politics that's just not about fighting the horrible stuff. And a lot of people agree what Trump is doing is horrible. They want something to fight for. Mm-hmm. And so the Working Families Party, we had close to 700 people on the ballot on Tuesday. So I'm really excited about Zohran, but we flipped the mayor's seat in Ohio, in Dayton, Ohio. We won elections in Albany, in Syracuse, in Buffalo, right? What's happening is happening all around the country. And, you know, people are trying to exceptionalize what happened with Zohran because he is an exceptional communicator. He is an exceptional leader. But I think some of those people are actually bad faith people. They want to believe that this is something that only could happen in New York. It's only happening because Zohran is such a sensation online and such a great communicator. And I'm like, no. What's taking place is actually happening everywhere. You know, we endorsed a Black woman running statewide in red Georgia, in purple Georgia, and she won. The reason why she won it was Public Service Commission, right? That they deal with utilities. People's utilities are skyrocketing because the Republican Party has colluded with the elites in the utilities and the extractive oil and gas industry, right? That collusion is a problem for all people in Georgia. Yeah, every single one of them. And so they supported our candidate because they're fed up with it. So the same issues of affordability It's a crisis. I call it a crisis of dignity because it's not just about dollars and cents, right? Fundamentally, affordability is about being able to work a job and then going home and being able to afford to keep yourself and your family safe. And most people say it's the bottom 60%. That is most people. Most people can't do that in this country. And so I think we saw, yes, a rebuke of Donald Trump and Trumpism and MAGA, and also people voting for people who are willing to fight for them in this fight for dignity, economic dignity, which is the affordability crisis that people are facing.
Yeah, really well said. I found your work a few years ago with the new Evangelicals, and I was, doing a lot of that work on the Instagram side. I was like, wow, I love this. And the more I've gotten into, just this world, the more I'm like, yeah, I'm not sure if like the Democratic Party is where I really want to land. I need something better that's more hopeful. That's how I discovered you guys. Can you share with the audience? I know a lot of people have the question of like, well, how does this work then? Like, what do you mean that like you're running people? I mean, like, for example, Mom Donnie, was he on like the Working Families Party ticket? Was he under the Democratic ticket? Like, how does it actually work? I love what you're doing and I believe in it, but I also want to make sure that we actually have a way forward to make this change possible.
Yeah,
absolutely. So what people should understand is most people get that we should have that third space in American politics, right? We should, as working people, have a politics that actually is not backed by the bosses, right? And so what we do at the Working Families Party is like we cook what we have in the kitchen to make that possible, right? We're not delusional. We understand that there's a very rigid two-party system. There's this duopoly that is supported by all of the like oligarchs and all of the status quo and all of the industries, you name it, APAC, AI, crypto, pharma. We're not delusional about that. The real estate lobby, the fraternal order, the police, all those people. We get it, right? And what we seek to do is figure out all the different hacks so that we could express that politics that I just talked about. And so that looks like in New York and in Connecticut, we actually have a tried and true independent political party on the ballot. And the reason why we use that in New York and Connecticut is that we have this thing called fusion voting. Elon Musk just discovered this, by the way. He was so outraged. He was like, "Wait, this is voter fraud. How could Zora Mabdani be on the Democratic Party line and the Working Families Party line? How dare they?"
Right.
Well, in New York, Connecticut, Elon, if you're listening, right, we have something called fusion voting. Fusion is as old as and as American as apple pie. It's how the Republican Party came about, right? The Republican Party is a relatively new party. There were the Whigs, right? The Republican Party emerged, and it actually was a left party back then, right? It was the party of emancipation back then, and it just shows you how parties flow and change. But fusion allows a party to be able to cross-endorse the candidate of another party, right? So in 2024, the Working Families Party recognized that we aren't on the ballot in every state. We can't contend for the highest office, right? And so in a presidential election where it really was a binary choice between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, instead of running our own candidate, we endorsed Kamala Harris, the Democrat. We were able to do that and put her on our line because fusion voting allows that, right? It allows multiple candidates to stand for various positions based on various parties. And our party is the party of labor and community, is the party of economic justice, is the party of everyday people being able to get by. And so when you tally all those votes, when it comes time to govern, we could talk to those elected officials, some of whom, if it wasn't for our vote, because sometimes people win just with like a few hundred or a few dozen or a few thousand votes, we could say, hey, if it wasn't for our voters, you wouldn't be elected. Let's talk about the governing. Let's talk about the policies. Let's actually make sure that at the end of the day, working people could actually get dignity and you deliver for working people. That's the power of that fusion that we have. And actually, I'm really proud to say that more people voted on the Working Families Party line in Tuesday in New York City than the Republican Party. So you can't really call it a third party in New York City, right? If you're going to use the third party label in New York City, give that to the Republicans, right? Now, outside of New York and Connecticut, we recruit people and we opportunistically run them in Democratic primaries. We do that in a lot of places. So Zohran Mamdani, he's a member of the Working Families Party. He voted for himself on the Working Families Party line, but he fought against Andrew Cuomo inside of the Democratic primary. Right. Again, cooking with what we got in the kitchen. Right? And then third, we do run independent Working Families Party people against the Republican and the Democrat. And when we do it, we win. And so we've done that in 2003. And so in 2003, we supported and recruited Tish James to run against the Democrat and Republican for Brooklyn City Council. She was too independent-minded for the Democrats. And we beat them. She became a Brooklyn City Council person. If you can't beat them, join them. The Democrats eventually embraced her. And she's rode her career all the way to the top. And she's the attorney general that held Donald Trump accountable, right? We did that this election cycle, where in Ulster County, we now have a WFP only Ulster County City Council. In Ulster, there's a city council person that is a WP only person. In Onondaga, in the legislature, there's a WP only person. And then in Hartford, Connecticut, we have a WP only school board member who's the president of the school board, right? Who defeated the Republicans and the Democrats, right? So when we can, as a third party, we run and we will run and challenge the Democrats and the Republicans in the general election if we have a path to victory. And sometimes our person is the Democrat. So look, we do a lot of things, but it all amounts to that independent, everyday people, not backed by all the lobbies, not supported by the PACs type of politics that is focused like a laser on the issues that everyday people care about, like affordability, and believe the crazy idea that we shouldn't be spending billions of dollars on foreign wars or billions of dollars on bombing other people's kids. We should be spending that money actually creating more possibilities for the kids here.
I love that. I have a question just curious how it works. So when you go to the ballot, was there an option to vote for Mamdani as a Democrat and an option to vote for him as Working Families Party?
Correct. Absolutely. That's true.
Cool.
And we want there to be more fusion in other states. So, we are part of an effort that isn't just a Working Families Party effort. It includes some principled conservatives that are look, we don't like Trump, right? But we're conservatives and we believe that our ideas should be expressed. And so some of them are trying to start their own fusion parties. We're fine with that. The more the merrier. And we think that fusion is one of the answers to the doom loop in our democracy, the duopoly doom loop. And look, there's a lot of fear-based tactics inside of the Democratic Party coalition, right? One of the fear-based tactics is we suck, but where are you going to go? We're you have to vote for us if you want to prevent fascism. And what that does is it breeds cynicism. More and more people are just I guess I hear you, but this sucks. And I'm not going to go out and vote. I'm not going to volunteer. I'm not going to, it's the fear-based, basically organizing people around the things that we hate. Right. Yeah. And what we saw with Zohran and what we see with many of our candidates is we actually should organize people around the people and communities that we love and what we're willing to fight for. When you do that, you build movements.
Yeah. For 28, do you think you would I'm sure you've been thinking about it, but are you thinking of running a candidate with the Working Families Party in the Democratic primary?
So there's a lot of people in WP land that are thinking about that, right?
Okay.
So that definitely is
how that sounds.
that definitely is a conversation. I think one of the things that we're starting with though is what we want to make sure. So look, we think it's actually really cool that both Zohran Mamdani and people like Mikey Sherrill ran on affordability. We think that the reason why that happened is because Zoran was so successful in June that a lot of these strategists, they ripped up their playbooks and they realized, like, if we're going to win, we have to win on affordability. And it also shows that the Democratic Party and the Democrats, they're looking for ideas.
Yep.
And we're not going to wait on our hands for those ideas to come out of the failed places that the Democratic Party has developed strategies. So one of the things we're going to do very soon is we're going to popularize and launch a set of principles and ideas that we think are worth fighting for as the Working Families Party, and invite everybody, all working people, regardless of who you are, your region, your background, whether or not you identify as a Democrat or an independent or Republican, to join us to fight for that. And we think that those principles, those ideas, those values, we're going to hold every elected official, including whoever's running for president, accountable to that. And I'm going to make it my duty to popularize those ideas so that these elected officials, because I could tell you on the Democratic Party side who's debuting to run for president. And it shouldn't just be a popularity contest, right? It should actually be about the ideas and principles that they're willing to fight for. And if we don't interject as everyday working people, and if we don't claim what those ideas are, they'll be more than happy to just make it a popularity contest and just say, like, Gavin's, won in the polls, so just let him have it. And that to me is unacceptable. That's how we get here. That's how people see the cynicism, the careerist ambition, the lack of any heart, and it gives people the ick.
100%. I can't express enough how much April and I have talked about this dilemma we find ourselves in, where we're like, obviously we're here to stop Christian fascism however we can. That's what we do now for a living, trying to expose it as former Christian conservatives ourselves. But also, I don't really feel like whatever the Democratic Party is cooking up, I'm not exactly thrilled with it, and I don't like that, because what we're asking for, affordable healthcare, livable wages, they are not radical ideas at all, especially in the world's richest nation with only 3% of the world's population, right? Hey, I want to give you some encouragement before I let you go. We have a few super chats that came in. Stevie Clown says, just changed my political affiliation to Working Families Party in Oregon. So you're already making a difference, Maurice. And then we had another one come in.
We have a party in Oregon. That's great.
I love that. Another one from Joseph Compton. That's what I'm talking about. Start on the local level and build from there. And then Cosmic gave us another super chat. I'm getting such a civics lesson right now. Thank you for having Maurice on. I'm learning a lot. Of course, friends, it's really important. April and I talk a lot about the show and trying to give you guys glimmers of hope and what can we do. This is what we can do. Maurice and I have talked behind the scenes a bunch. He's been on the new Evangelicals podcast. If you want a deeper episode, dive into all of this, you can go find it. I think it came out earlier this year, but we have work to do. And we talk a lot at the new Evangelicals that there's a better path forward in faith. And I truly think what you're doing, Maurice, with the Working Families Party is a better path forward in politics as well. And, I think it's really wonderful. I think it's really great. It's very, dare I use the term, common sense. Why don't we want these things to happen? These are not crazy ideas. No one is saying that wealthy people can't keep on to their wealth. We're just saying that they should be taxed at a fair share to help cover, what should be covered in the world's richest country. So I really appreciate you coming on and making time for us, spending a few minutes. And congrats, by the way, on the success that you and the party are having. And we wish you the best.
Thanks for having me. And happy to come back more and chop it up with y'all.
Sounds good, man. We'll keep in touch. See you later.
Thanks, Maurice.
Bye. Okay. Well, there we go, friends. That was fun.
That was fun. Very
encouraging, right? Encouraging. I often get stuck. I'm sure many of us do. Okay, third party, right? You're just wasting your vote. That's kind of the rhetoric. But the Working Families Party kind of has a workaround. They're like, hey, well, we can attach to different people if they're not in our direct, political affiliation, and we can work with other candidates that maybe, have a bigger reach. Anyway, I like the pragmatism. I like what they stand for. I like that they are not about the billionaire class. And I like that Maurice is willing to acknowledge, which I think is important, how Democrats had a huge shift in the 90s, that really pushed the working class out of their ranks and kind of pushed them right into Trump's arms. So there's a real argument to make for that, I think, for sure.
Yeah. And now you can see we're not just Democratic shills.
We're not paid by George Soros.
I know. That's what everyone
Yet.
says.
Yet.
I mean,
We're not
we don't
paid
really
yet,
love
but-
Democrats either. I mean, they're by far the better option right now. But still,
Yeah.
Whatever.
100%.
Should we get to our favorite segment?
If you can stall, so I can pull the clip up that I forgot to pull before this. So I have
okay.
it. I have it here.
I am
have it
drinking. This is a cranberry vodka drink that I made before the show that I've drank very little of because I started feeling it real early on. I'm like, April, you were on a live. Let's reel this in.
Was I okay, April? Was I too loopy for a little bit there? I mean, I was feeling a little unfiltered. It was nice.
No, you were just a little talkative, but you always are. So
I'm sorry. I try to really temper myself. I don't want to come across like I'm talking over you. I hate that. It's a horrible thing.
No, it's fine. I do it sometimes too.
It's all good. I mean, you and I are friends
You
too,
have
which
it?
makes it easier. I do have it. I did pull it. Yep. Friends, before we get to this segment, again, if you're just joining live, thank you so much. Please make sure to give the stream on YouTube a like and subscribe to the channel. If you're watching on Substack, welcome in. We go live every Thursday, 12 o'clock Eastern, right here on Lincoln Square Media. We are so grateful to be part of that family, that network. It's been really great working with them and having the show reach a wider audience. If you're looking for a better path forward in your faith, the New Evangelicals is the place to go. Go to thenewevangelicals.com/connect. Join our free online community. You can get plugged in with great resources.
Did we read all of our super chats?
We did.
Are we up to date?
I think so. Let me just double check.
Okay, if we haven't read yours, let us know.
Yeah,
We'll
let
try to
us know. Okay, you ready?
Yes. Weird Christian shit.
Boom. Here we are.
Woohoo!
Okay, I'm just gonna play this. No context needed, right?
Let's just play it.
Today's weird
Go.
Christian shit. Here we go.
I love to pray for people for cars. You say, I need a car. Well, get on the phone. Tell us what kind of car that you need. Tell us what kind, and we're going to believe God for your car. Now, this car is a sanctified car, so it goes to church, picks up people for church. It doesn't play raunchy music, have sex in the back seat. No, this sanctified car. No wrecks. It's not a lemon. This is a really, really good car.
Okay, I have a question. I probably shouldn't do this. Do you think we can find her phone number and call on the air and ask for prayer for a car? Do you think we can do this?
Okay, her name is Marilyn Hickey.
Okay.
She's a televangelist, Marilyn Hickey Ministries. I don't know where. Let's see. Connect.
I'm on the website. Yep, I'm just going.
Contact.
Is there?
There's a toll-free number.
We have to call. I'm calling.
Or you call.
I
How
have
drunk
to.
are you?
I'm not drunk. I stopped. Look, there's a ton left.
Also, I love the caveat she gives. I will pray for you a car, but that car is not going to be playing raunchy music.
We have to
You
call.
will not be having sex in that car.
1888. This is a public number. Okay, I'm gonna call it.
Are you? Did you
here we
find the website?
Yeah, I'm on
Marilyn.
Shh, here we go.
Hello, this is Marilyn Hickey, and we're so happy you called. Your support helps us cover the earth with God's Word. Please stay on the line while I connect you to one of our representatives who will be happy to help you.
We have to do this, right?
What car are you going to ask for?
Recorded for quality and training
A
purposes.
Mercedes-Benz. Go big or go home, right?
Yeah.
This is a bad idea. This is a good idea, right?
All the video of her saying to call in and ask for a car.
Okay.
You have reached Marilyn and Sarah Ministries. My name is Carlina.
Yeah,
How can I help you
hi.
today?
I just saw a video from Marilyn Hickey about praying for a car, and I wanted to ask for prayer for a car.
Okay, I'll be happy to pray with you. Can we start with your first name, please?
My name is Bob.
Bob?
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob, for sharing your prayer need with me today, and I'll be happy to pray with you.
Okay.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for all the ways.
Okay, I hung up. That felt too weird. I felt bad. I don't want to make her pray the whole thing if she was sincere about it. I was ready for them to ask me for money or something.
Can I? This actually reminds me.
I had to stop. I just did that.
Hold on. Someone in the chat said that this woman passed away. Hold on.
No, she's dead.
Marilyn
That was a bad idea.
No, she clearly still has an active ministry. She didn't answer that from the grave. Hold on. Alive? Marilyn Hickey alive.
I had to hang up.
Wait, no, she's alive.
Okay.
She turned 94 on July 1st. No, she's still alive. That weirded me out for a second. I was like, wait, she's dead?
You know, I should have asked
saw this
Cassidy.
video.
I should have asked Cassidy if I should have done that. She's a much better.
Oh, no, she
you know.
said that was her husband. She can't read. Okay, thanks for
Okay. Oof,
that
okay.
weirded me out for a second. I was like, whoa, they're playing old videos of this woman and they're still answering calls?
Oh boy! Look.
You know
friends.
what? I'm a little disappointed that you didn't get in the specific car.
Well, look.
I know it felt weird.
I have a line. Okay, it's one thing to hear someone like try and grift you on the phone, but when they just start praying and they're sincere, it just there's a line for me. Like, okay, thank you.
I have a confession.
What?
I used to be a producer for CBN, right, which is a Christian Broadcasting Network. So I was a producer for things that you would see on the 700 Club at Robertson. It was before I repented of Christian nationalism, okay? So twice a year, they would make everybody go down and work the call center to answer like pledge drives and like offer prayer for people and blah, 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 blah. But before I became a producer, I actually interviewed for the CBN call center, which was a prayer center, which was a 24/7 call line where people can call in and ask for prayer. And so I went through the interview. I didn't take the job. They offered me the job, but I went through the interview. And in the interview, I kid you not, it was the weirdest thing I ever went through. They would give me different scenarios like, okay, this person called in and gave me some random situation that they had, and they're like, pray for them. And I had to pray for these like I had to pretend to pray in these interviews. And I remember like even back then, and I was I was very funny still. I was like, this feels weird. Like I'm performing a prayer.
Yep.
It was just weird. But I've had some friends that worked in the call center and they get some weird calls.
I'm not a good prank.
She didn't even flinch at the fact that you were like, I'd like to pray for a car. She's like, yeah, we got another one of these. Okay, cool.
And then I said Bob and laughed, and I had to put her on mute. I was cackling the whole time.
Bless her heart.
I'm a bad prankster. There are people who will go all the way through with the bit. I just have a limit where I get so awkward. I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't do it anymore.
You're also, a bit giggly.
You know, we're on the air, and like it's just for me. There are some ethical lines that I don't want to cross.
I feel that.
You know,
yeah.
if she was gonna ask for money first, that's what I thought was gonna happen before I prayed. But when she went right into it, I'm like,
and I was like, oh, that's kind of endearing.
Yeah, look, if she's sincere, I don't want to yuck her yum,
that's
so
fair.
to speak, you know. So.
That's fair. It was a fun, different thing we've never done
I don't
before.
know. I mean, look, I honestly am not that tipsy, but I will say having this bottle next to me doesn't really help. I don't know. It was a fun live. This was I thought more fun overall. We had a special guest for the first time on the show live. We had a nice blue wave. That feels good. I
don't think that was the first time we had a guest live.
Live? Who was the other guest we had?
We've had Jessica Malati on before, I thought.
Oh, live though? Was she live?
I thought so.
Maybe she was. I don't know.
That's okay.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah. It was a fun one. It's a good show.
Do we have more super chats?
Oh.
I think we do.
We had a lot today. Thank you so much, friends, by the way. All super chats go to supporting the show and making this work possible. Oh, this is a good one from Nan V. George Soros told me to give you this. Thank you, Nan.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, George.
Finally getting something from George.
I keep telling people, if George Soros funds us, we will tell people. Like, I will proclaim it from the mountains that we have George Soros money. Like, thank you, billionaire George Soros. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Was that it? Are we done? Are we caught up?
Yep. We're caught up.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats and for joining us for this celebratory live. I'm sure some kind of crazy crap's going to happen before our next live, and we're going to be back to going, fascism again next week. But for today, this day, we celebrate. Give our video a like, subscribe, give it a heart if you're on Substack. Thank you, Lincoln Square, for joining with us. If you listen on podcasts, please give us a review, a rating. It helps so much. And I think that's all the plugs that I have for you today.
Well, I'm Tim Whitaker.
And I'm April Ajoy. Until next time.
Bye. Bottoms up.
Bottoms up.